Second thing we learned from the Torah is that the Torah is not a storybook. The Torah has different codes in it. Many people have trouble accepting the Torah, and because number one, they've never really read it, and number two, because they have trouble understanding how could a document from 3,334 years ago be scientifically proven. How could it be scientifically proven? How could you see that this document is not some man-made document? Now, everyone has heard about Megilat Esther, which is what we just read on Purim. Now, Megilat Esther was not part of the 5 books of Moses. That's part of the Tanakh. And Megilat Esther was not something that God dictated, but rather this is something that Mordechai and Esther actually wrote through Ruach HaKodesh, through divine inspiration. But yet our holy 5 books of Moses, the Holy Torah, has information about Megilat Esther that's not going to be in existence for at least 1,000 years after the 5 books of Moses are given, and it has it in it. The Gemara in Masechet Megillah, Tractate Megillah, says, where is the Megillah in the Torah? Meaning, since we know that everything is in the Torah, where is the Megillah in the Torah? Where do you see, for example, where do you see Mordechai? Where do you see Mordechai? Do you see Mordechai in the Torah? No, you see Moses, you see Avraham, you see Yitzchak, you see Yaakov, you see all of these other characters. So if the Torah is divine, meaning that it has everything in it, then show me where Mordechai is. And the Gemara says, Mordro. What's Mordro? In our weekly parasha, Parashat Ki Tisa, which is the parasha that we read on the same week that we celebrate Purim, meaning the same week that we read the Megillah annually. This is the parasha that we read, Parashat Ki Tisa. In that parasha, there is a verse in chapter 30, verse number 23. It says, V'ata kach lecha besamim rosh mordro, 500 v'kinamon, bosem michatzito, 50 ו200 ukne bosem 50 ו200. Hashem spoke to Moshe, saying, now you take for yourself choice spices, 500 shekel weights of pure myrrh, fragrant cinnamon, half of which shall be 250 of fragrant cane. So the Gemara says, in this verse is a code where you will find Mordechai. Mordechai that's mentioned in the Megillah. What's the code? Mordro, which is in English translates pure myrrh. It says this pure myrrh, that's Mordechai. Now, of course, a black Hebrew Israelite, Christian missionary, or any other non-Torah scholar looks at this and says, come on, this is crazy, you guys are insane. Where is Mordechai and Mordor? What, just because it starts with the same letter, that's Mordechai? Same 2 letters, that's Mordechai? No, that's because you're ignorant. Let's explain. You see, the Torah, as the Gemara in Masechet Chagigah says to us, was written 974 generations before Hashem created the world. Meaning, everything you have in the 5 books of Moses was already written before it came into existence. So then you would ask, well, how could it be that he wrote the Torah? And in essence, everything that's in it, the stories, Mount Sinai, the golden calf, Korach that went against Moses, Abraham, everything, and yet we still have free choice. That's because the Torah was written in such a format as we discussed last week, where it was without any vowels, without any spaces, meaning it was 304,805 letters, all connected as if it is a single word, meaning it's indiscernible. You cannot read it. You can't understand what it says. And then at Mount Sinai, God told Moses where to separate the words from the beginning of the Torah until the section of Yitro, which is the portion where it talks about Mount Sinai, we're receiving the Torah. And then over the next 40 years we were in the desert, God tells Moshe where to separate the rest of what's left of the 5 books of Moses in order to make up the words. Meaning that Hashem could have actually told Moses to separate the words in any which way that he wanted in order to decipher whatever he wanted. But in the same exact letters is everything that ever happened, everything that was happening, at the time, and everything that will ever happen in the future, including today. So that's why the Talmud comes with the audacity and says, if everything is in the 5 books of Moses, show me Mordechai. I want to see Mordechai. And the Torah responds, Mordechai is Mordro. So now we're confused, or at least the people that are ignorant are confused. How could Mordro, pure myrrh, be Mordechai? That's because it's not referring to Mordro itself being Mordechai, but rather the code that it is symbolic of where it leads to. Meaning, the word Mordro starts with the letter Mem. Then there's something called Torah codes. Torah codes are codes within the Torah where you skip an equal mathematical skip of letters between each letter in order to make up words. Meaning, if you want to make up a specific word, you want to, for example, find the word Holocaust, okay, that's in the Torah, you have to find it in a way where you would find, if I'm doing it in English, obviously the Torah is in Hebrew, but if I'm doing it in English, you'd have to find it in an equal mathematical skip between the letters. So the H would be the first letter, you could start that wherever, but then it would have to be whatever skip you have. Let's say it's 10 letters. So then you would have to find a O. Okay? Now, but then between the O and the L also has to be the same number of letters. So it would have to be another 10. And then again, I have to get another O. So it has to be another 10. It can't be 10, 17, 37, because that's not an equal mathematical step. That you can pretty much make up anything that you want. So we have to see that this is there with specific number of letters that are between them in order to show that this is by design. And there is no greater design that I know of than this particular code that's in the Torah. Why? Because unlike many of the Torah codes that you would find that have a small mathematical skip of 7 letters, 10 letters, 50 letters, this one has a huge skip. 12,196 letters. Meaning, if you want to find the word Mordechai, the name Mordechai, in the Torah, you start at this verse in our weekly parasha where it says Mordro, the Mem. You count 12,196 letters and you arrive at the Resh. Then you count another 12,196 letters and you arrive at the Dalit. Then you count another 12,196 Chaf. And then again, 12,196 Yud. Now the average person, again, looking at this, like, yeah, 12,000, 15,000, you're just going to make up any number. And surely you're going to find something even in a Harry Potter book. No, you're not understanding. 12,196 is a unique number. What's so unique about 12,196? What's unique about it is that 12,196 is the precise number of letters in Megilat Esther that was written over 1,000 years after this Torah was given to us in Mount Sinai. Here we see a code with a specific number of letters that is by design, that no human being could have ever possibly thought of, that inside a document that has 304,805 letters, you have a word that is, in essence, not in existence yet for another 1,000 plus years in it, but not in it. Just you're going to find the letters by just randomly finding the name or something similar, but rather the name that you would find in the other document, and the document itself is significant as well. 12,196 letters, not a small book. It's 10 chapters. So you see here, Mordro. This in itself is an extraordinary feat for anyone that is looking for the truth. Anyone that is yearning for the truth. But of course, anyone that isn't is going to say, okay, fine, maybe I can find something else in a different book, and then they're going to, look for other things in other books and never find anything. But nonetheless, anyone that has their eyes open sees that this is literally in itself enough proof that Torah is divine more than anything else, and also proves that the Megilat Esther, the Megillah itself, is also divine, obviously by design. The code for Esther For Esther, the other main character in Megilat Esther, you could also find with the same number of skips in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 18. Same exact thing, 12,196 backwards. Same exact thing for Esther as you have for Mordechai. As the man is on the right side, woman is on the left side, and they meet. So again, seeing how precise the Torah is and how it was written and given to us, not in a way to just simply tell us stories, but literally tell us everything that will ever be.